Okay. So like we created our function for the queue. Now I will be creating the function for the array. But before creating that function, let me explain some basics of array, those who are new and those who have missed my array class. I'll go through array in a very brief amount. So to create a variable in JavaScript, we use var and we give the name. Maybe I can give anything. For example, hobbies. And if I have to create array, I will use the rectangular bracket to create the array. Rectangular bracket to create an array, and inside the rectangular bracket I will put my hobbies, whatever I want. I can say chess, movies, song. So I can put it in double quote or I can put it in the single quote, and if it is a numeric value I can put without quote, like just 10, 20, something like that. So whatever value I want I can put. So these are the values of this array. So I created a variable called as hobbies, and I put some values in the array and assigned it to this variable. So now if I check hobbies, I see all three hobbies are there inside this hobbies variable. I can also do console.log and put hobbies to see what is the value inside the hobbies are. I can also put multiple data types. So for example, I can put 10, I can put a string here like this, I can put boolean value like true or false. I can put any data type inside my array. So my array consists of numeric, string, boolean. I can also put object by curly bracket. I can also put function by putting like this. So I can put any data type in my array for this variable. Okay. So we are doing this in the JavaScript. So JavaScript is very lenient. It allows you to put any data type inside the array. Whereas if you go to the Java, then it does not allow you to put any data type. Right. So in Java, you can put either numeric or string. So you have to put particular data type inside the array for the Java. So Java is very strict. So if you put numeric 10, all should be the numeric 10, 11, 12 like this. You cannot put a string inside the numeric array. But in JavaScript, which we are doing now, we are learning JavaScript. In JavaScript, we can put any data type. So we can do a lot more things in JavaScript than Java. You know, in my company, I can build things in JavaScript, anything I can build. But the people who are doing in Java, they have very limitations, and they always come back, oh, this cannot be done, this cannot be done, this is so complex, this is so complex. But with my JavaScript, I can do any stuff easily and in very short period of time. So if you learn JavaScript, you will be much more better developer than Java, because in Java, you have too many restrictions and you cannot do things easily. You have to do a lot more coding to do a particular thing. But with JavaScript, we can do things very easily and very, in the good way. Okay, so this is the one way of creating the array, that we use the curly bracket. And each of these items is called element. So it has element 1, element 2, element 3. And there is a key behind each one. So though we see the chase, but to access this chase, I need the key. So it starts with the 0 number and it goes to 1, 2 like this. So this is the 0, this is 1, this is 2. So if I want to access this part, I will use hobbies of 0. If I want to access this part, I will say hobbies of 1. If I want to access this part, I will say hobbies of 2, because I start with 0 and it goes in the numeric ascending order. Let's say 0, 1, 2. So if I want to access, let's write down again. So if I want to access movies, I will say hobbies of 1. When I say hobbies of 1, I can access the movies. When I say hobbies of 0, I can access this chase part. If I want to access this part, I will say hobbies of 2, because every element has its index which is used to access it. So I can access any element by going to 1, 0, 2, whatever I want. So this is the one way of creating the array. Another way of creating the array is first create the empty space, like saying new array. And here in the new array, I have to say how many items I want. For example, I want 3 items in the array. So I will say 3. So once I say 3, if I check hobbies now, it has created 3 values with saying that it is empty. Empty means undefined. So once I say this line of the code, I created 3 spaces in the memory for the array, and each is having the value of undefined. So it is a 3. Now to fill these spaces, I can always say hobbies of 0 equal to chase. Hobbies of 1 equal to movies. Since I have assigned 3 values, so I will put 3 values here. So 1, 2 and third one. Hobbies of 2 is equal to song. So in the first line I did it in the one step, but when I did it the second way, I had to write down 4 lines of the code to accomplish something which I did in the first line. So now if I check hobbies, I have 3 elements inside the hobbies, and each can be accessed with 0, 1 and 2. So this is one way of creating the array. This is the second way of creating the array. Now let's see the difference between the Java and JavaScript. In JavaScript, though I have assigned 3 to these hobbies, I can also add 4 elements by saying, for example, dance. So if I check the hobbies, I can see that hobbies has increased to 4 elements, because initially I said 3, but then I added the 4th element. I can add this one more element. But in Java, once you assign it with 3, you cannot increase the size of the array like this. But JavaScript is little lenient. You can increase the size of the array dynamically on the fly by adding more elements in the array. But in Java, once you say 3, it is 3, done. You cannot add more elements in the array. So after, if you try to add more elements, it will give error. So this is the second way of creating the array. Let's see the third way of creating the array. So instead of passing 3, I will pass these values here inside the array. So first is directly I write the rectangular bracket. Second is I create a space by putting 3 number here, and then I create 3 values separately. And the third way is to create the variable and saying new array, but I put all the values here. And when I check hobbies, I see all values are here. Now you tell me, if I put 1 here, whether it will create an array of value 1, or it will create the space of 1 with the undefined value. What will be that? If I say var hobbies 1, whether it will create array with the value 1, or it will create 1 empty space in the memory. I'm expecting answer from you. If I put like this, whether it will create 1 empty space in the memory, or it will create an array with the value 1. Anyone want to answer it? Does anyone know the answer? Hello? Empty space. One is saying empty space. So when I pass one value to the new array, since I have told you if we pass some number, it will create array of empty space, whatever number I have given. Now if I check hobbies, it is an empty space, one empty space. Previously if I put 3, it will create 3 empty spaces. So if I pass numeric value inside this array, it will create empty space of that value. But if I put some values like this, then it will create an array with those as an elements of the array. So this is the difference in the creation of the array. Okay, now let's say if we want to go through all the elements of the array. I am creating array of this one. So if I want to go through all, okay, let's get string values. A equal to A, B, okay, C, D, E, F. Okay, if I want to go through all the values of the array, first I have to see what are the total number of elements. The total number of elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I want to know how many elements are there in the variable A, I can say A dot length. So it is giving me the 6. So total elements are 6. And if I want to go to each element, I can say A of 0. And then I can say next time I can say A of 1. Then I can say A of 2. Then I can say A of 3. Then I can say A of 4. Then I can say A of 5. Since there are 6 elements, but when I want to access it through array, we have to go one number lower. So I have to go one number lower because it starts with the 0. So total elements are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It starts with the 0. So the last element will be the 5. So I can either go manually and go and access each one, or I can write a for loop and I can access each variable array element inside the for loop. So how to use the for loop? In the for loop, I have to put 3 conditions. Condition 1, semicolon, condition 2, semicolon, condition 3. So these are the 3 conditions I have to put. I will tell you what are the conditions 1, 2, and 3. So the condition 1 will be the starting condition, that is this 0. So the starting condition is 0. So I have to create a variable with the value of 0. So I'll say var. Anytime we have to create a variable, I will use var. So I will say var I equal to 0. Since the condition 1 is starting from the 0, so I will say I equal to 0. And second condition is the last condition, that is phi number. Phi number is nothing but the total length that is less than total length. Total length is 6. And if I say less than total length, that is phi. So I will say I should be less than total length. Total length is A dot length. So when I say A dot length, it is 6 number. So whenever I will reach less than 6, then everything which is inside this curly bracket will run. Once I will reach the A dot length, that is the 6 number, then it will not run this curly bracket. And the third condition will be what happens in each step. In each step, 0 changes to 1, 1 changes to 2, 2 changes to 3. So the condition will be the middle condition, what happens in each time. So here I will say I plus plus. When I say I plus plus, that means once the curly bracket will run, 0 will move to 1. When again the curly bracket will run, and then 1 will move to 2. So this is the middle condition. So I'll say whatever value of I is, increase it to 1. If I say here I equal to I plus 2, then the condition will move from 0 to 2, 2 to 4, and 5 will never come, 3 will never come, because it is increasing 2 times, 2 values at one time. But I don't want to increase the 2 values at one time. I have increased one value at one time, so I'll put I plus plus. Then inside the for loop, I will say console.log. Now I have to access this one, a of 0. Since 0 is nothing but I, so I will put a of 0, but I will replace 0 with I. And I don't want semicolon here. So when the first time the loop will run, I will be 0. So a of 0 will be a. Then second time the loop will run, I will be 1 and a of 1 will be b. And third time the loop will run, I will be 2 and a of 2 will be c. So every time we are moving 0 to 5 and we are displaying this number in increasing order. So those who have not attended or those who don't know array, they can go on writing also along with me as soon as I am explaining it. So when I put enter it, you will see I am displaying A, B, C, D, E, and F. First time A, second time B, C, D, E, F. Okay, like this it goes. Now yesterday we created the Q function. Today I will create a function called as array. I will say my array, or I can put anything. Maybe I can say single dimension array. Okay. So it is called single dimension array. Here I will create a empty array. This dot data equal to empty array. Okay, so this part I will explain you on the Friday. This function I will create it on Friday, but just I was saying that I will do this, but this is very big. I don't have time today to do this one. This will take about half an hour to 1 hour to complete this function. So I will not do this today, but I will today give you one problem which you can do. So let's see the problem. Hope array is clear. And if even it's not clear, it will be clear because we are doing array. We will be doing array for many days more. It may be 10-15 days more. We will be doing continuously array. So the problem is like this. I will help you to solve this problem, but you have to do it. Now find the missing number in an integer array of 1 to 10. So there are 10 numbers. It can go from 1 to 100 also. It can go. So we have to find the missing number. What is the missing number in the array? So let's say I create a array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 7, I'm missing the 7 number. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so this is the values which I am passing, but I am not passing the 7 number in this array. So we have to find which number is missing. Okay, so let's create a function, and let's create a function missing number, and we will write the function to find what is missing in this array. Okay, so I will help you, but you have to give the answer for it. So in this missing number, I have to give the total number which is that is we are going from 1 to 100. So I have to give the what is the final number. Let's say I will say n. Okay, and maybe if I'm going from 1 to 10, I will pass n as a 10. And if I want the missing number from 1 to 100, I will pass the n equal to 100. Okay, something I want to know how many numbers I am checking. Because it is missing, I cannot pass this array and find. Tomorrow 10 can be also missing. So I don't know exactly the number which is in. Or I can also think that last number can be the n number. Assuming that last number is the n number, we can also do that. But right now I'm passing it forcefully, and that how many numbers I want to check. That is 1 to 10. 1 is assumed and 10 is the highest number. And here I will pass this array, my array. Okay, I will pass this array. I'm keeping this name and this name different. Otherwise, you will think that this is you know, you will be confused because of the naming convention. So that's why I'm keeping this array. Though array is created with variable r, but when I pass it to the function, I will pass it as a different name. Now, what is the idea of how you will find the missing number? Can someone give me any idea? I have array. So how will I find the missing number? Okay, using loop. Since it is array, we have to go to loop. That's fine. Let's go to the loop. For var equal to I equal to 0, I less than my array dot length. Since array is coming here, so I will say length. Now the loop is correct. But now what is the idea to find the missing number? Okay, now how will I find the missing number? So if I go through this, it will go through all the elements and it will go all the elements. Okay, right. So how will I find which number is missing? Okay, array of I plus 1. Let me see what it's saying. Array of I plus 1 minus array of I equal to 2. Okay, so array of I plus 1, that is 2, minus array of I, 2 minus 1 is 1. Now I'm not clear with this line, Kate. I'm not clear on the line. Okay, or maybe write down the whole statement what I have put it here. Because if I take this and minus this, it will be 1. Okay, if it is saying 2, you are saying if this minus this is 2, that is, for example, 8 minus 6 is 2, then it is missing number. Okay, so let's say if my array of I plus 1, okay, my array of I plus 1 minus, I'm just writing, this is not a final solution, I am writing the solution which one has provided me. I'm checking if that is right or not. I plus 1 minus array of I. So it's saying if 2 minus 1, that is, this is 2, that is this minus 6. If I'm here, I plus 1 is 8 minus array of I, that is equal to 2, then what I will return? Then what I will return? I will return what I will return? Return what? I want the return value because I want to return 7. Since 7 is a missing number, in this case, what I will return? I understand. If I reach here, 8 minus 6 is 2. That is correct. Okay, my array of I will be 6, not 7. My array plus 1. Okay, so my array of I, okay, plus 1. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, looks good. Let's check it. Otherwise, if it is not there, I will return undefined. If I don't find this, I will return undefined. Let's check it if this is working. Okay, there can be many solutions. I am not saying that this is right or this is wrong. The total is 10 and I am passing array like this. So when we call this function, we have to pass how many number n? N is saying 10 and I have to pass the array. So though this is a my array, but I can pass whatever array I have. This is 1, and I'm getting the answer 7. Okay, so this solution works fine. Okay, so this is one of the solutions he figured out. I want to know. Okay, let's try to pass some other thing. For example, instead of this one, let's try to pass some other array. So instead of this, I will pass like this. Okay, I will pass 7, but I will not pass 10. Okay, so I want to find the 10 number, if 10 is not. But when I run it, it is being undefined, because as soon as it reaches here, it is trying to get I plus 1, which is I plus 1 is not there. So this function fails if I'm passing the last number as a missing number. Okay, so I want another solution which can fulfill that part also. Okay, so this works fine, but this doesn't work fine. So I want another solution. Let's try down again. Okay, so this is the one solution. I will keep this, sorry. I will keep this solution in comments. Okay, so that we finish this solution. Okay, any other solution? So how will I find a missing number in the array? So array is something like this. So array is something like this. Var array equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, 9 and 10. Okay, right now I will miss the 7 number, but I will test with other also once you give me the solution. Okay, how will I find? Can you think the idea? I don't want the code. Just think the idea. What idea you can use to find a missing number? Any other solution? Okay, another solution. So you are saying, okay, this minus will not work with the array. So if we have something like that, let's try what you're saying. Let's try. Okay, so let's try. If I have array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, for example, and if I do minus, generally minus doesn't work with the array. If I remove this 7, so I'm getting not a number, because this minus doesn't work with the array. Okay. Any other solution you can think of? How will you find this one? Just give 2 minutes more. Think on it. We'll talk in 2 minutes. So anyone wants to give the answer? So this is okay. Okay, let's try. One person has given the solution. This is the most. This is the the big companies. This is one of the questions they ask in the interview. Though this is simple of array manipulation, but you have to think little bit to get the solution. And since we are drilling it now, when you will go for interview, if you get the same one, you will be able to solve it easily. So just we will drill it more, and then I will give you the solution which I have. Okay, let's say he's saying my array of I plus 1 equal to my array of I plus 1. Okay, what happened if I put this condition? Let me see. So what should I give? What should I return? So my array that is of 0, that is this, plus 1 is equal to my array plus 1 equal to 2. The problem with this is, when you do I plus 1, and if I skip the 10 number, it will be always undefined. So if you put I plus 1, then the solution will not work. You have to avoid using I plus 1. I plus 1 will not work. Okay. My array of I, that is 1 plus 1, let's say 6 here, plus 1, that is 7. So if I do, let's say, I'm not giving the right solution, I'm just drilling. I'm drilling because you gave me this answer, I have to drill. Let's do this I plus 1. So let's take this one. My array of I, that is 1, plus 1, that is 2. So if I take this one, let's say my array of I, that is 1, is equal to I plus 1, that is 0 plus 1. And in the second case, though it is 1, and I plus 1 is equal to is 2, and I plus 1 is 2. When I reach here, it is 6, and I plus 1 is equal to 6. Okay, and when here, yeah, so it really it will not work, right? Okay, let's see another solution. If my array of I, my array of I will change every time when we run for loop. So my array of I, that is this part, plus 1, she thinks plus 1, that is 2, is not equal to my array of I. See, I plus 1 will not work. Let me see what you are getting it. We should not call I plus 1. I plus 1 means when we reach here, it is undefined after that. So let's see. Okay, let's check this one. Return my array plus 1. Okay, return. Okay, so it's saying my array of I, that is 1 plus 1, that is 2, is not equal to my array of I plus 1, that is this one. Right now it is same, this is same, this is same, this is 1. When I reach here, I will say my array of I, that is 6 plus 1 is 7, is not equal to my array I plus 1, that is 8. It's correct. My array I plus 1 not equal to, okay, 6 plus 1, 7 is not equal to 8. Okay, right. Then I return my array plus 1. That is 6 plus 1. Okay. Yeah, looks good. Let me check. Let me check again. 10, and I will pass array. Okay. So I'm getting 7 number correctly. Let's try to pass different one, different array, and see if it works in our case. I will not pass the one number. Okay, 7 is there, sorry. I have to pass the 7 number. Okay, so if I'm passing 2 to 10, I'm getting answer 11. 1 is not coming. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, and let's try with the 1 going correctly and not. Okay, so if I pass 10, if I miss 10, it's fine, but this condition is not satisfying. I'm getting 11. Why it's not coming? Because it is not checking the 1. It is going after 2 to 10, and it is not considering the 1. So this solution works fine, except in this case. Okay. Any other solution? Okay, so now I will tell you my solution. Just remember it. It's very important because many times this is the very favorite question, and it is about the array. And then you can. Okay, so the solution, I will first write down the what is the solution, and then we will do the implementation. So here I will say, so first is we have to find this sum. So what we have to do, we have to go through this and find the sum of this all the values. Okay, so we'll go sum of all these values. So find the sum of all values of the array. You call it as sum 2. Okay, just or sum 1. So sum 1 will be, we calculate all the we will calculate the sum of all the numbers. Okay, then we will be using sum 2. Sum 2 will be sum of all the numbers from 1 to n. So whatever n I have passed, so I have to sum of all the numbers from 1 to n. 1 to n. And since one number is missing, so definitely this and this sum will not be same. So to find the missing number, I will say return sum 2 minus sum 1. So if I take this sum 2 and minus sum 1, I will get the number which is missing. So these three are the steps we have to follow here to get the solution. Now to do this second one problem, we have the mathematics formula, though you can go through for loop, but there is a mathematics formula also which we will find here. What is the formula? Find the sum of numbers from 1 to 100. Let's see if we get some formula. Let's write down the formula. Mm-hmm. 1 to 10. Let's do 10. 1 to 10. I don't see where's the formula. Is there any formula given? Okay, yeah, this is the formula. If you see this formula, n into n plus 1 upon 2. So for example, if I try to do if I pass 10 number, for example, and I use it in this formula, I will get the answer of 55. So if I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 10, I will get the answer sum 55. If I use 100, the total will be 5050. So based on the number, we can find the formula. If I pass, let's say 3 number only, then I will get 6. So total 1, 2 and 3 is 6. So we are getting this. So this is the formula which we can use in our project to find the sum. So let's say if I create here var sum 2, which is this part, which will be equal to n, I will say n into n plus 1 divided by 2. So this is how I will get the total sum from 1 to n, and to get the sum of this array, we will go through loop and I will add all the numbers. So here I will say var sum 1 equal to 0, and what I will put it here inside the for loop, can anyone tell me? I have to go through all the array and I have to find the sum 1. I have to put it in the sum 1. Okay, sum plus equal to my array, right? So one person has answered what we will put. So here I have to take this sum 1 is equal to, I have to take the previous value of sum 1 plus what is the value of this array. So my array of I. So first time it will take 1, second time it will take 2, third time it will take 3, fourth time it will take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 is missing, so it will take all this number and add it, and it will put it in the variable called as sum1. Now I took the sum2 with the formula which I found it here on the internet. If you don't know the formula, then you can go through all this loop again and go from 0 to go from 1 to n. I could have also done like this. I could have gone 1 to n, and I would have done sum 2 like this. Okay, so I could have done this, but I got the formula. So just remember this formula, because this problem is very specific, and many times you will need this formula. If you don't know this formula, just remember this formula. I have also done this formula long back when I was doing 9th standard, 10th standard, but now I forgot it, so I'm doing it again. I find it again on the internet. Okay, so if you don't know, just remember this one. Now what we have to do? We have to return sum 2 minus sum 1. So I will say sum 2 minus sum 1. So what will happen? In the missing case, it will add all the numbers, but it will not add 7 numbers. Whereas sum 2 will add all the numbers. So all the numbers minus the missing number will be the answer. So now let's test this one. So we are getting 7. Now let's try with other use case. The one which we missed previously, that I will miss the 1 number, but I will add the 7 number back. So I will get 1 here. Let's try to do it again with adding the 1 number and skipping the last number. I will get 10 number here. So with this formula, with this method, we are able to find exactly in all case what is the missing number. So just write down this function, write down this also, this function, and this examples also, and let me know once you're done. This is very important problem. Do not miss it. Try to do again and again at home. No, I will not copy paste. You have to write down. I will not copy paste. If I copy paste, you will not learn. You have to write down. That's the purpose of this exercise. You have to manually write down each line. If you don't have computer, take a pen and paper and write down. If I do copy paste, you will just copy paste it in your notebook. You will not learn. You have to understand it. So for that, you have to write down. And you have to run it. And if you have done mistake, that means there is something wrong in your code. Okay, let's do it again. I did not put the semicolon here. Okay. JavaScript is very lenient. If I don't put semicolon, then also it's fine. But when you go with Java, if you don't put semicolon, it will give error. So you have to write down. That is the purpose of this exercise. If I copy paste it, then you will not write down, and then you will not learn what I want you to teach. So let me know once you're done. So we will be doing hundreds of such problems, and in interview, it will be from this 100 or 300 problems which we will do. It will be from that only. So whatever 200, 300 problems I show you, you have to repeat it again and again. So today you have seen this problem, but after 1 month you will forget it. So you have to revise it after 2-3 months again. So keep it in some notepad and try to repeat it after few weeks. So what here we are doing, we are adding the numbers. We are adding the numbers from whatever user has passed. And what is this? We are using the formula to add n numbers with this formula. Remember this formula. This is a very easy formula, and you can remember it easily. So you have to remember this formula, and then sum 2 minus sum 1 is the answer. So just I'm repeating the steps, because whenever now you will know that you have to find the sum of these numbers, and then you have to find the sum of the numbers from 1 to 10, and then you have to difference between the sum 2 and sum 1, and using this formula. If you forget this formula, then go from 1 to n and do like this, but do it from 1 to n. But if you remember this formula, then it's good. This is only few formulas you have to remember. This is one of the formula. There is sum of n numbers. Those who are not from the mathematics background, they can also remember this formula. They just remember, just by heart it. No need to understand this formula. This is just a formula, you have to remember it. If you don't remember, memorize it, write it 10 times. Even if you are not from the maths background, these are the very simple maths which even 5th or 6th standard people can write down.